So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out cause you kept cutting the cord, and I started to fade into your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now.
So people forget how sensitive dogs' hearing is, and they also forget that humans are super verbal, right? We use English language. Well, dogs actually communicate better, especially from the start when you're trying to teach them with nonverbal communication. So using body language and body pressure. When you over-communicate verbally with your dog, oftentimes you can teach them to ignore you. You know, you hear people when they're trying to teach a dog, sit, 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 sit.
And
so the dog,
like, goes in one ear and out the
they'll
other.
either ignore you or they'll learn to sit on the 5th time, not the 1st time.
So we just finished up our segment with Good Day Charlotte with little Mac here, and we were on air today to talk about setting your puppy up for success, behavioral success, for a lifetime of that. After the holidays, a lot of people tend to get puppies, so it was a really good time of year to introduce some things that you should do right from the start to help your puppy. So we brought in little Mac to demonstrate a few of those things. Some of the things that we talked about, points that I wanted to expand on, are nonverbal communication. So it's very normal for us to want to communicate with them, and oftentimes we do it the human way, so verbally, and we over-verbalize, which teaches our dogs to actually ignore us half the time because they just don't understand exactly what we're saying in full sentences. So we practice a lot of nonverbal communication, using body pressure and body language to help guide them. Utilizing their name, of course, is a great way to start verbalization, getting them used to their name by repeating it over and over again and rewarding them for responding to that. One of the things I mentioned in regard to using their name, if you are going to verbalize with them in the beginning, is to always keep the name a very positive thing, because you always want your puppy to be responsive to their name. So if you use it as a form of punishment, again, you'll see some of that ignoring behavior start to come out. Same thing with teaching new skills. We want to say it once, and then we want to use body pressure and maneuvering to help guide them to what it is that we're looking for. So for example, if you're teaching your puppy to sit, you don't want to say sit 5, 6, 7, 8 times before expecting it from your puppy. You want to say sit once or twice, encourage them, but then use body pressure to help guide them, and reward to help reinforce when they're on the mend to getting it the way that you want it, basically. But over-verbalizing, again, can cause them to ignore you, or can cause them to think that you want them to actually perform the action the 5th, 6th, or 7th time that you tell them, because that's what you've practiced with them. Another thing that we went over was tethering. Tethering is the most underutilized tool that you can have in your toolbox. It's one of the best things to do to get your puppy used to the routine and the rules, and just serves as a perfect way to guide them through the day. So what I recommend doing is taking up their food in the morning, and not even feeding them their meal in the morning, but using that as treats, their kibble as reward. So as they're tethered to you with a hands-free leash or a tie right there with you, you're supervising them. So you have every opportunity through the day to provide reward every time they exhibit a desired behavior, and to remove reward every time they exhibit a non-desirable behavior. For example, when you're in the kitchen cooking or doing whatever, and your puppy's sitting calmly at your feet and has beautiful manners, isn't barking, jumping, then you can offer them some kibble to let them know that, yes, I like this calm, quiet behavior. I like when you say please by sitting. And when your dog is jumping on you or barking for attention, aside from when they have to potty, of course, then you ignore that. The reward in that situation is giving them attention. That's what they're looking for. So you remove that reward for the jumping and the anxious and the excitable behavior. And as soon as they show that calm behavior that you're looking for, then you immediately go in with the reward they were looking for, which is that attention. A couple of tools that you can use to kind of help navigate you through the beginning stages of puppy life. This is one book that I use for both my adult dogs and my puppies. It's from Dr. Sophia Yin. This talks about tethering and how to use that, as well as how to use their kibble throughout the day for reward and how to remove reward. So it's just a little bit more in depth than the tips I just gave you. It's a super quick read. It's really cheap on Amazon. I'll go ahead and put the link in the description of the video for you if you want to grab that. And then the other one, if you want something more in depth that has a little bit more of the behavior behind it, so some understanding to kind of teach you not just what to do, but why you're doing it. I really like this DVD. It's available on Amazon as a book as well, also from Dr. Sophia Yin, Creating the Perfect Puppy in 7 Days. It's totally possible. It really just takes timing, consistency, and compassion, just like everything else that goes into canine behavior. So with a few very consistent steps early on in the beginning, you really can set your puppy up for a lifetime of behavioral success. One more thing that I want to touch on too is socialization. Socialization is critical for puppies, especially young puppies. Puppies under the age of 12 weeks, especially 9 to 12 weeks, are what we consider in their first really critical socialization period. So it's important for them to meet different species and other canines from different households, to meet other people, to just get as much positive socialization as possible without anything being scary, really. So having those positive associations during these critical periods sets them up for how they're going to respond to different stimulus, different environment, different people, different animals later on in life. So how do you do that safely is the question, because most puppies, especially like little Mac here, who's only 9 weeks, hasn't had all of his vaccines just yet. So you don't want to expose him to some of these diseases that could potentially take his life or really harm him, cause him hospital time, like parvovirus or distemper. Those are really nasty diseases. So since his immune system isn't fully covered yet, the way that you can safely socialize is to be safe about it as far as who you're exposing him to. So if you're going to have puppy play dates, do that where in group classes with training, vaccines are required, or at doggy daycare where vaccines are required and you know that they keep up on those. So it's safe to play with other animals that you know are vaccinated. That's really, really important because you don't want to expose them to any disease, but you need to socialize them, especially during that critical period. And all throughout puppyhood as well, but most importantly during that time period. So that's the basis of kind of some of the things that we went over in the clip. Again, it's just a start. Obviously, there's other things that you can do to help kind of build a successful relationship with your puppy. I definitely recommend crate training, but that's a whole nother video and a whole nother topic. So if you have any questions specifically about starting your puppy off right from a behavior perspective, please feel free to leave a question in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer it as best I can. If you like this kind of video, please let me know by hitting that like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe and the bell notification to get notified when other videos are posted that might be super helpful as far as building the bond and the relationship with you and your dog. Thanks for watching.